Up next on the End Zone 2, presented by OCH Sports Medicine Services, LSU fans were crying foul after Nick Saban left Baton Rouge, but it was the Saban Nation that felt dumped on Saturday.
Got Wilson, he fumbled the ball, it's loose, LSU has got it at the 3-yard line.
Touchdown, Louisiana State.
We'll talk about the Instant Classic in T-Town. And speaking of T-Town, Sylvester Croom got his annual signature win at Bryant-Denny in 06. But it's been a season full of signature wins for the Bullies in 07.
They'll pick up the road win in Auburn, Alabama, as the Bulldogs and Sylvester Croom pick up the win on the road.
Big win on the road.
So will the next one send them bowling? And the coaching situation at Ole Miss has fans saying, uh-oh. Can Ogeron right the Rebel ship in time to save his own job? Matt, John, and Freddie will sort it all out. And the boys from Southeastern Drive Time are dropping in. The End Zone 2 begins.
Dives over, touchdown.
Right now.
WCBI and My Mississippi bring you the End Zone 2, presented by Ottibbeha County Hospital Sports Medicine Services. The WCBI sports team, along with our expert sports panel, featuring Matt Wyatt, former MSU starting quarterback on the 1998 SEC West champs. Freddie Millens, former Alabama wide receiver, starter for the 1999 SEC champs. And John Darnell, former Ole Miss starting quarterback in the '89 Liberty Bowl, bring you a special edition of the End Zone, previewing the biggest and most talked about college and high school matchups in the South. The End Zone 2 is presented by Ottibbeha County Hospital Sports Medicine Services, keeping area athletes in the game. You're in the zone. The End Zone 2.
Hi everyone, welcome to the End Zone 2 presented by OCH Sports Medicine Services here on WCBI. I'm Derek Cody. We're joined once again by our expert sports panel, John Darnell, Freddie Millens, and Matt Wyatt. Guys, we have a lot to talk about. Let's get right into it. And John, we're going to start with you. I know we don't like talking about these things. It's an unpleasant part of the job, but the coaching situation at Ole Miss. Ed Ogeron in maybe a little bit of hot water, still no wins in the SEC this year. What is the deal with Ogeron's future at Ole Miss?
Well, they've got 2 big games left to play, but I think, you know, as a fan, from a fan's perspective, you look at it and Coach O's his 3rd year there, and you'd like to see some improvement from year 1 to year 3, and I think at times they've showed that, and at times they've not played very well. But for whatever reason, whether it's players, coaching, or just bad luck, you know, it's not carrying over, not getting it done on Saturday. So, like I said, they got 2 big games left. The season's not over. 2 big games for Ole Miss, LSU, and Mississippi State. And I think it's just have to wait and see to the end of the season and evaluate it then.
Well, okay, let's say, for example, Ole Miss loses those final 2 games. Is he back?
Well, I think he has a support from the president and the AD, and you know, from my understanding, and I think it's up to them, and I think at that time they'll sit down and reevaluate the situation.
All right, and Matt, big doings at Mississippi State lately. The Bulldogs 5-4, just 1 win away from a bowl game. But the big question is, will 6 be enough?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we don't know. We'll have to wait and see if it will be enough. But I think that, you know, obviously they're in a position that they have not been in here at Mississippi State for a while, almost going back to, you know, a long time ago, close to the time that I graduated, you know, back in the late 90s, had a bowl trip in 2000, but since then, no bowl trips. In a position now to get something done. Is that extra motivation? Absolutely. For those players, for those coaches, everybody, it picks up that level of concentration and that focus week to week when you go out there at practice, because you really are playing for something big and working towards something big. So I think State fans and all are going to experience an atmosphere and a little bit of an intensity that's not been around there. Even though there's been some great games played at Scott Field in the last few years, it's going to be different this Saturday.
Freddie, what can you say about the game Saturday, Bama and LSU? It was one heck of a game when we all enjoyed watching it. But what good can you take away from that game as an Alabama fan?
I think the team itself can take that. They played the #1 team in the country by most experts in the country. There were some mistakes made that some plays left on the field. But as a whole, we competed. They were in the game to the last, I would say, 5 minutes. But I think LSU and their depth, it wore Alabama down.
And John and Matt, I'll ask you guys the same question. What did Alabama do right in that game, and what do they need to do in the future to get a big name win like that?
Well, I think they came up in key situations. They converted a big 4th down there at the end of the game. They overcame 14 penalties, I believe, on the road to beat a good team. So that's what LSU did. And as far as Alabama, they just didn't close it out like they should have.
And Matt, real quickly, what do you think?
Well, I think one thing we're seeing is that under Nick Saban, this team's got a little bit of a resiliency that maybe they haven't had in recent years to get themselves back in a game against an LSU. But you got to hold the football, get it into overtime. Don't fumble that thing away at the end. You got to do some little things right at the most crucial times to win big games.
All right, big game last Saturday. We've got a major one this week, MSU and Bama. We'll start talking about it when we come up.